just went to Costa Rica and did ayahuasca and like you guys ghosted me. Like, is that what we do as friends? He doesn't even know how to properly say I need help. And if Craig and Austin, I think were as close of friends as they say they are, or pretend to be with him on the show, they would understand that layer of Shep just not even having the ability to phrase the question appropriately. It doesn't make anyone look good, but like you have to understand spoiled brats just usually throw money at things. And when throwing money doesn't work, they are up shit creek.
Right, like getting on a plane and taking yourself to Costa Rica. I mean, maybe it's not checking into somewhere in Malibu, but it's still, I mean, most people that isn't rock bottom. Rock bottom
Yeah,
is
yeah.
I don't the keys don't work on my, apartment today because I'm so strung out. I haven't paid the
Yes.
rent in 9 months and I'm in the streets.
And Shep doesn't will never have to face that. So this is like as close as he's getting. And so he's like desperate for help, but doesn't know how to even acknowledge that or ask that question.
And also, like, there is something built in about, like, and this is Vanderpump too, and we'll get into it and not anymore, but there is something about Craig and Shep and Austin. Shaw's was the same way. Like, you look at housewives, like, there's no job security. There's maybe like 10 housewives, maybe 20
Hmm.
that feel that real, like Kyle Richards, Beverly Hills, she feels it. She feels the security. Like
Hmm.
Craig and Austin and Shep, like to be on a show and just know, yes, if you are accused of a major crime, if you short of something crazy, you're coming back. So that's just like housewives don't have that.
No.
It's a different career path for Vanderpump before this, and Shaw's was this. It's like you're there for years. Like there's no shakeup. It's a whole different mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, and I think you said it right. Like Vanderpump was like this too. It took until I don't know what season 8 or 9 for a Tom Sandoval to feel like he's untouchable. And then very quickly he learned like, oh, just because I think that, that doesn't mean it's not the case.
You compare like Southern Charm and Summer House to Vanderpump, and you're like, man, like
Oh,
Summer House, especially, like that is just a little show that I mean, it just goes to show you there is something about, remember the Workist twins, and there's
yeah.
something about a slow and steady sometimes does win the race. I
Yep.
mean, Kyle Cook had granted these people are probably going to age out at some
Yeah.
point, but I mean, what a run, right? It's Summer House is got a lot of steam in there
Yeah,
left.
surprisingly so. I wouldn't have bet on that, quite frankly.
Yeah. Before we move on, two things. Do you think Craig and Paige will make it? I mean, why? Every time these rumors surface, they're like, people say, I was just at a wedding. I was just in the grocery store. I saw them. I saw them. Like,
Hmm.
where is this coming from? Will they make it? Like, just what are your thoughts? I'm curious.
You know, no, I don't think Craig and Paige will make it. I don't think there's any real problems right now necessarily. I just think they are, from what we see edited in front of the camera and on social media, there's just it's a relationship of comfort, I think, right now. And eventually they may not have some huge blow up or blow out or whatever, but I do think that like Paige loves New York too much, and that's all there is to it.
And vice versa. Craig loves Charleston.
Yeah,
Like, I could see Paige with someone whether he's in New York or not, but someone that also works all the time and travels and I think it's no, I'm not knocking her. I think it's good for her. I could see her with like some investment banker, something in New York, and I could see
yeah,
Craig meeting someone if they break up within like 6 months and being married and being like she's
yeah,
pregnant. Like she lives
yeah,
down the street in Charleston, has some edge. He wants just to, and I don't blame either of them. You just, if you don't want that life in Charleston, and Craig wants it, he wants the kids and the picket fence down there, driving the minivan and being a soccer. It's kind of like Kristen Cavallari when she just broke up with Montana Boy at 24, and she's like, trust me, you are going to fall in love with someone and you are going to look at me one day and be like, thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
just breaking my heart because, honey, I'm 39 and I don't want no kids. And like, it's just, I wish. I think that's going to be Craig and Paige. I think it's going to be like, Craig will look and be like, thank you.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's ultimately like, look, I do think that some people on these shows, whether they explicitly say it or not, know and feel like they get some sort of security from being in a romantic relationship. And I don't necessarily think that's exactly what's going on with Craig and Paige, but I think that's how it started. And it's just taken that evolution.
Right. And it certainly hasn't hurt their careers. I mean,
Oh, no, no,
her
no, no.
popping up on Southern Charm, him popping up on Summer House, being a Bravo couple. I think,
Yep.
like you said, for now, she's building a business, he's building a business. Like, it does help to have someone who is on TV who understands the clickbait and you know that this one wants you and that one wants you and this one hates you. It's just it's the same exact life. You
Yep.
get it, you know?
Yep. Absolutely.
One last question about Southern Charm. JT went on this vacation and now is gone. I mean, what is it? I mean, he says, like, did he just have a complete breakdown? And I'm not even saying that in a derogatory way.
No, I think I haven't followed him outside of the show, but I do know that he leaves like halfway through this season.
Yeah.
And judging by what we saw on the first two episodes, you know how it is. They start the next episode and they could revert everything we heard in the last 10 minutes of the previous episode. But Craig outright lied and said that JT called Miss Pat the B word, and
Hmm.
he didn't. From everything we saw, even Bravo did the little edit where it's like audio not found, like of him actually saying this. They did the clever Vanderpump Rules style edit, and I think that JT has enough going on in Charleston with his Airbnb hotel that he doesn't need the added drama that, like, he obviously didn't look good after last season. He is now getting someone potentially outright lying about him to like the matriarch of the show, if that's the word to use. But and then it's gonna stir the pot. It's gonna be all of these things that he doesn't need, and he's gonna say, you know what? You all need this show. I don't. And he is a gossip and loves the drama. And right now, we need a JT on that show to hold all of the drama and stir the pot. Whether we all see ourselves in JT or not is a different story. But he is the one who's like kind of shaking things up in these first two episodes. So I could see him being like, "No, I know what I'm doing. I'm sharing and I'm gossiping. I'm doing things, but I did not say that about Miss Pat. And if that's what my story's turning into, I'm getting the hell out of here. See you later."
It's like yes and yes. Like you're doing the job. You actually, bravo to you, no pun intended, for knowing how to do the job in your second season. But this is the job also. Craig is doing the job. Like if you stay on the show, which he didn't, this is it. He's even said things in real life like, oh my God, and the comments, and I live in the comments. Yeah, like this is it. Like, you and I might be ready for reality TV because we understand like this is it. Yes, you never said this about Patricia. It is a bold-faced lie. This will be your storyline. This will be discussed at the reunion. This will be talked about for the next 13 episodes. And